Hello everyone, I am Saida Maliha Ahmed, lecturer at the School of Pharmacy of BRAC University, and I will be walking you through the lecture on commercialization of generic drug products. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to understand strategies aimed at marketing generic drug products, the effect generic drug prices have on patients and pharmacoeconomics, the post-marketing surveillance process and product lifecycle management, and lastly, a short overview of the current status of the Bangladesh pharma market as a generic drug manufacturer and distributor. Commercialization process of generic drug products is an effort that aims to maximize their market penetration and profitability while also ensuring they remain a cost-effective alternative to brand name drugs. After a generic drug receives regulatory approval, marketing strategies come into play to ensure successful market entry and commercialization. The three important factors that significantly influence the commercialization process are market entry strategy, brand positioning and differentiation, and pricing and market access. Timing and the launch planning of the product is essential. Companies plan the timing of product launch considering factors such as expiration of the reference product's patent, potential competition, and market demand. In addition, the launch strategy may involve a phased approach with initial introductions to key markets followed by expansion into additional regions. Branding aims to establish a positive image and differentiate the generic product in a competitive market. Some generic drugs may be marketed with a brand name. In such cases, branding efforts aim to establish a positive brand image and differentiate the generic product in a competitive market. Competitive pricing strategies are important when it comes to commercialization of generic drugs. Generic drug manufacturers often adopt competitive pricing strategies to offer cost savings compared to brand name product. This is a key factor in gaining market share. Furthermore, collaboration with health insurance companies, government agencies, and other payers is essential to secure favorable reimbursement and market access for the generic drug. These factors not only influence market penetration and acceptance, but also contribute to the overall success and sustainability of generic products in the pharmaceutical market. When discussing pricing, especially in the context of pharmaceuticals, the TRIPS agreement plays a significant role. The TRIPS agreement, short for Trade-Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights Agreement, is a comprehensive international legal framework that sets down minimum standards for many forms of intellectual property regulation. Established in 1994 and effective from 1995 as part of the World Trade Organization agreements, TRIPS is pivotal in harmonizing intellectual property laws across the globe. It also ensures intellectual property rights are protected and enforced in a consistent manner. By establishing common standards, TRIPS facilitates smoother international trade and provides a more predictable and stable environment for businesses. The TRIPS benefits LDCs in multiple ways. It provides easier access to essential medications because of the affordability and availability of generic drugs. This plays an important role in addressing prevalent diseases and public health crises ranging from infectious diseases to chronic diseases. Secondly, the availability of generic drugs supports the development of robust healthcare systems in developing countries. This allows them to allocate limited resources more efficiently. It also enables them to expand access to a broader range of treatments. This, in turn, improves overall health outcomes. Last but not the least, the TRIPS agreement contributes largely to the economy of the LDCs. The production and distribution of generic drugs stimulates local economies and creates job opportunities. This eventually leads to the development of a sustainable healthcare infrastructure. Because of the TRIPS agreement, LDCs are allowed to produce any patented medicines without taking prior permission from the innovator. They can export to any country if the medicine is not under patent. They can export to another LDC or non-World Trade Organization country that has not implemented product patent protection. Or they can export to a country where patent holder has not filed for patent. Now that we know that the TRIPS agreement directly impacts the pricing of generic drugs, let's take a deeper look into how generic drug pricing strategies can work to make medications more affordable. The phenomena of generic drug pricing involves several key elements that shape the competitive landscape and impact both consumers and healthcare systems. Generic drug prices typically experience gradual erosion over time due to increased competition. As more manufacturers enter the market, competition intensifies, leading to lower prices. This benefits both consumers and healthcare systems. Consumers benefit from more affordable and accessible medications, while healthcare systems benefit from the reduction of financial burdens and improvement in healthcare affordability and access. The first generic manufacturer to enter the market often enjoys a period of exclusivity. During this time, it has the sole right to produce and sell generic version of the drug. This exclusivity period, typically granted by regulatory agencies, allows the first entrant to establish itself in the market and set prices higher than subsequent generics. The pricing strategy adopted by the first generic entrant during this exclusivity period can significantly influence the competitive landscape and its own profitability. Setting a price higher than the subsequent generics allows the first entrant to capitalize on its early market entry and establish a strong position. However, if the price is too high, it may face challenges from competitors or regulatory scrutiny. Generic drug manufacturers closely monitor the competitive landscape and adjust pricing strategies in order to gain or maintain market share. Price reductions or strategic pricing may be employed to capture a larger portion of the market. Some generic manufacturers form alliances to enter partnerships to collectively market and distribute their products. This collaborative approach can enhance their competitive position and negotiating power with payers and distributors. Generic manufacturers aim to enter the market as soon as possible after the expiration of patents and exclusivities so that they can maximize their competitive position. Successful challenges can lead to earlier market entry and a competitive advantage, influencing the pricing dynamics for the generic drug. Hence, understanding exclusivity periods of the reference product is crucial. The impact generic drug prices have on patients and pharmacoeconomics is substantial when it comes to cost savings, accessibility, and overall healthcare outcome. The pharmacoeconomic effect includes governments and insurers benefiting from cost effectiveness of generic drugs and more efficient management of healthcare budgets. The cost savings from this allows healthcare systems to allocate resources to other areas, such as the development of innovative treatments, improved healthcare infrastructure, or expanded patient services. In addition, the introduction of generic alternatives enhances competition within the pharmaceutical market. This then leads to further price reductions and greater affordability for patients. Lastly, the cost pressures created by generic competition can incentivize pharmaceutical companies to invest in research and development to bring new and innovative drugs to the market. The impact of generic drug prices on patients is also profound. Generic drugs are typically more affordable than their brand name counterparts. This allows patients to access necessary medication without facing significant financial burdens. The lower cost also makes it more likely for patients to adhere to prescribed treatments, leading to improved health outcomes and a reduction in progression of diseases. Generic drugs also contribute to broader access to essential medications, especially in developing countries where healthcare resources may be limited. This increased accessibility is crucial for managing and treating a wide range of medical conditions. They also play a vital role in global health initiatives by providing cost-effective solutions for treating prevalent diseases such as HIV/AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. This leads to better health outcomes and improved quality of life. While generic drug prices play a crucial role in the affordability of medications, ensuring their safety and efficacy through post-marketing surveillance is equally important to maintain public trust and healthcare outcomes. Post-marketing surveillance of generic drugs is a critical aspect of ensuring the ongoing safety of these medications once they are made available on the market. This process involves monitoring and evaluating the real-world performance of the generic drugs after they have been approved and are in widespread use. The insights gained from this surveillance contribute to the refinement of regulatory decisions, labeling updates, and overall patient safety. Regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical companies set up pharmacovigilance system to systematically collect, assess, and monitor information related to adverse events or any other drug-related problems. Generic drug manufacturers participate in and contribute to global reporting systems that facilitate the sharing of safety data and adverse event reports with regulatory authorities and other stakeholders. Healthcare professionals and patients play a crucial role in reporting adverse events associated with generic drugs. They can submit reports directly to the regulatory agencies or through the pharmaceutical companies. Many countries have established pharmacovigilance centers that collect and analyze adverse event reports. These centers collaborate with regulatory agencies to assess the safety profile of drugs, including generic versions. Different countries have their own version of adverse drug reaction reporting form. Here, you can see the ADR form by the regulatory body of Bangladesh, DGDA, followed by the yellow card of the UK MHRA. Health systems and providers leverage electronic health records to monitor and analyze real-world data on the use of generic drugs. This data provides insights into the safety and effectiveness of the drugs in routine clinical practice. Generic drug manufacturers may conduct post-marketing studies to gather additional real-world evidence, especially for long-term safety and effectiveness. These studies are designed to complement the information already obtained during clinical trials. Pharmacovigilance team employs various statistical and analytical methods to detect potential safety signals from the collected data. These signals may indicate previously unrecognized safety concerns or patterns of adverse events. Advanced data mining techniques and analysis tools are utilized to identify trends and patterns in large data sets, helping pharmacovigilance professionals focus on specific safety concerns. Furthermore, generic drug manufacturers submit periodic safety update reports at regular intervals, summarizing the safety data and providing an updated risk-benefit assessment of the generic drug. These reports contribute to the ongoing evaluation of the drug safety profile. Regulatory authorities may also require generic drug manufacturers to develop and implement risk management plans. These plans outline specific measures to identify, characterize, and minimize risk associated with the drug's use, including post-marketing activities. The plans may include risk minimization strategies such as educational programs for healthcare professionals and patients, restricted distribution programs, or additional safety monitoring measures. In order to maintain the quality, safety, and efficacy throughout their market presence, lifecycle management of the generic drug product is crucial. By systematically overseeing every stage from the development to post-marketing surveillance, product lifecycle management ensures that generic medications consistently meet regulatory standards and effectively address patient needs. Global regulatory affairs play an important role in the product lifecycle management as well. It ensures that companies comply with international regulations and standards throughout the development, approval, manufacturing, and post-marketing phases of a drug. Regulating the product lifecycle of generic drugs involves navigating a set of specific processes and requirements that vary across different regions. Let's see what these are. As part of the product lifecycle management, the marketing authorization application submission and product registration are crucial steps for bringing a generic drug to market. The submission involves compiling detailed information about the drug's quality, safety, efficacy, manufacturing processes, and proposed labeling, which is then reviewed by regulatory authorities. Successful submission results in product registration, granting the manufacturer the right to market the generic drug within a specific jurisdiction. This phase ensures that the product meets all regulatory requirements and standards, setting the foundation for its entry into the market and subsequent lifecycle management activities. For quality and manufacturing compliance, generic drug manufacturers must adhere to good manufacturing practices globally. Regulatory affairs professionals work closely with quality assurance teams to ensure consistent product quality and compliance with regulatory standards in different regions. The post-approval activities include managing variations to the marketing authorization. Regulatory professionals address changes in manufacturing processes, formulations, or labeling, ensuring ongoing compliance with regulatory standards. This may also include regular interactions with regulatory agencies, which are crucial for addressing queries. Renewing the market authorization for a generic drug is essential in its lifecycle management, ensuring ongoing compliance with regulatory standards and market availability. This process involves updating documentation, maintaining GMP compliance, and providing up-to-date stability data. It also includes pharmacovigilance through continuous safety monitoring and submission of periodic safety update reports. Regulatory professionals engaged in generic drug development participate in international collaborations, including adherence to the ICH guidelines. These guidelines aim to harmonize regulatory requirements globally. The harmonization initiatives establishes unified standards and regulations across different markets and streamline the approval process, reduce regulatory discrepancies, and facilitate smoother international trade. These initiatives altogether help manage the product lifecycle of generic drugs. As we near the end of this lecture, I would now like to give a brief overview of the Bangladesh pharma market as it has emerged as a significant player in the production and distribution of generic drugs over the years. Bangladesh as an LDC has access to a special World Trade Organization waiver. This waiver exempts the pharmaceutical industry of Bangladesh from the TRIPS agreement, for which it is allowed to produce patented drugs without first asking the innovator or patent holder, and to export generic versions of the patented drugs to regulated and semi-regulated markets until the year 2033. Back in the 1970s, 8 MNCs held the reins, supplying a whopping 75% of all manufactured drugs in the country. Fast forward to the present day, and the transformation is evident. Approximately 273 local farms now meet a staggering 98% of Bangladesh's drug requirements. This tremendous growth has earned the pharmaceutical industry its status as the largest white-collar employer in the country, providing valuable job opportunities to its people. Furthermore, the industry has proven to be a significant contributor to the nation's economy, ranking as the second largest taxpayer. Its contribution to the national GDP stands at an impressive 1.83%, showcasing its importance in boosting the country's financial strength. Bangladeshi pharmaceuticals have also found their way onto the global stage, exporting drugs to 147 countries, including 31 other LDCs and regulated markets like the USA and the UK. This high growth of exports have been possible due to a cost-effective production line, availability of relatively inexpensive skilled labor, and increase in the number of available generics. Data from the past year shows that Bangladesh pharma market is currently growing at 2% moving annual total with a 3% quarterly revenue growth. Currently, the top 5 companies represent 50% of the market, the top represents 71%, and the top 20 represents 91% of the market. The Bangladesh pharmaceutical market has firmly established itself as a formidable player in the global arena of generic drug production and manufacturing. The industry has not only met domestic needs over the years, but also positioned itself as a critical supplier to regulated and semi-regulated international markets. Bangladesh's pharma sector exemplifies how a developing nation can achieve excellence and significantly impact global health dynamics. Before I end this lecture, I would like to thank BRAC University, Beximco Pharmaceuticals Limited, and SKF Pharmaceuticals Limited for their valuable support in this lecture series. Thank you.